Olis, sean muy bienvenidos a un nuevo video. El día de hoy estaremos jugando uno de mis juegos favoritos, Genshin Impact, el evento el retorno de aquel que atrapo el viento, la parte faltante de una alegre bienvenida, Vino, amigos y viejos tiempos. Pero eso sí, antes permítanme cambiarme de ropita, ya saben, para estar más con la dinámica. Ahora sí, vamos.
Hello there, Honorary Knight and the Hell Prince.
It's so nice to meet you, Honorary Knight and Lady
Looks like you're in a good mood, Hertha. By the looks of things,
Indeed. Thanks to some help from the Angel's Share and the Cat. Besides all the classics, we also mix cocktails.
Cocktails? Do you remember that time we served as bartenders at the Angel Share? And recently, you've also shown off your skills at the flagship in Nocrai.
The only thing is, our current drink selection is quite traditional, and it's stopped filling. But I need to get back to handling resident requests. And Glenfiddich doesn't have Honorary Knight. If you're free, could you maybe help us out?
You'll be amply compensated, of course, plus double pay for overtime, depending on your performance metrics.
Paimon's not sure what performance as the best guide into that. Paimon needs to keep up with the changing times.
Working with you two.
I'll do my best to support Lady Paimon in any—
All right. Well, if you're ready.
Oh my, it looks like Hertha has gone back to her duties, and Glenfiddich is away somewhere too. Has our dear cutie taken complete charge? Wonderful. Now I can order without worrying about ending up with one of the logistics company's specials. The type of drink that keeps you awake all night, leaving you no choice but to pass the time working. That's right, I'm just a carefree librarian now. If only there weren't so many people with overdue books, and I didn't have to go door to door to get them back. I would have dropped by to chat with you sooner, and try out your delightful creations, of course. Let me think. I don't really have a favorite drink. Just wrestle me up, and if it could help me nod off to sleep later, that would...
Here's a snow-kissed dawn. I hope you like it.
It's delicious, cutie. Pleasantly tart, sweet, but not cloying, smooth on the palate, with a refreshing aftertaste. If anything, though, I seem to be feeling a little more energy. Perhaps you've unwittingly unraveled Glenfiddia's secret and concocted an even more effective pick-me-up? Don't worry, there's no rush. Your eyes are aglow with curiosity. Let's chat for a while. Take your time. Since you're asking, it's been a bit of an unusual day. There's a chef, fresh out of training in Fontaine, who's recently taken up a position at the Goth Grand Hotel. Apparently, she plans to use dessert-making techniques to improve the taste of various savory dishes. Something about indeed, and judging by the results, she rather overdid it with the caramel sauce. What should have been fragrant meat slices ended up tasting nauseatingly sweet. Caramel sauce is such a fantastic ingredient, you know? It never fails to please when added to drinks. Sometimes, I even add a spoonful to my after. Improving food, I suppose, isn't always about being as creative as possible. Lately? So careful with your wording, cutie. Is that because you think that I, too, might have changed since we last met? Or simply because you can't remember? Not bad at all. A flawless answer. Back in my student days, I might have been drawn to every new and exciting ingredient I read about. Constantly expanding to paraphrase the certain Leo-Ed legal expert, my life is fast approaching a state of living out one's golden years in peace. I'm sure you remember, a few years ago, when we were adventuring together, you found me that sweet. Well, my tastes haven't. Surely you're not suggesting I'd take this opportunity to sneak. My investigations into Mondstadt's lesser-known drinks took me to Dawn Winery, where on my way back, I ran into Emmetall out on patrol. She'd encountered some monsters she didn't know how to deal. I accompanied her on a detour to Wolvendam to teach some raving hounds a lesson. It's been a while since I've had such an invigorating. Oh, this? That was for another of today's little errands. A large contingent of the expedition team will be returning to Mondstadt soon. They've been away for such a long time. Jean asked me to visit some of their families to try and get a better understanding of what new ingredients might satisfy our knights' changing preferences. Well, they've all devoted their blood, sweat, and time to protecting Mondstadt. Based on what I gathered, the most requested ingredient was cacahuatl from Natlan. It seemed in their letters, many of them mention that they rely on cocoa to keep themselves energized. I've tried hot cocoa myself, and I must say, As expected, cutie, your brilliant mind has grown even sharper.
Finished. A new creation, custom made for you. This should help you fall asleep quickly and guarantee you peaceful dreams. It's called a slumbering rose.
From the colors to the choice of glass, everything's been carefully crafted. Based purely on appearance, it's exactly my style. Full marks. It's like savoring an exquisite dessert before taking a stroll along the shore of Cider Lake. I no longer feel drained of energy. I'm actually starting to feel a little sleepy. That's so good, in fact, that I feel like writing an article to extol the virtues of this slumbering rose. Speaking of lakeside strolls, why don't you join me next time? Any walk would be more relaxing with you to talk to along the way. Then, when we get back, you could fix me up another glass of slumbering rose. And I'll make justice when the time comes. I won't accept any...
Good afternoon, traveler. I didn't expect the honor of witnessing your harmonizing talents here in Mondstadt. Both, actually. A lady calling herself a mage asked me to come manage her flower shop. At about the same time, the cat ending today's busy schedule with a drink crafted by you in person is truly a wonderful reward. I have faith in your...
Care to give this a try, Miss Em?
Your artistry is truly a This tastes like a local variant of a Lumideuse Twilight. The gentle and elegant taste, with its distinct layers combined with a hint of Mondstadt's characteristic scent, though in reality, there's no need for you to be so conservative. I have quite a high tolerance for flavors that stray outside the boundaries of convention. Your drink was nice, but it would be perfect if you could make one with a little more depth. If you need time to mull things over, perhaps... Oh, thank you for asking. It's been going well, though this trip to when I first got here, I was relying on a copy of An Overview of Aromatic Substances and the Human Senses. To my surprise, my trial fragrance, which used valberry as the primary note, proved far too sweet in the context of a tavern, relaxing people so much that let's just say that sweetness isn't always a case of the more the merrier. Even in daily life, I rarely eat sweet food, and I try to avoid fruits like berry. In the end, I completely eliminated valberry as an ingredient and turned instead to windwheel aster. It really is. A while earlier, I watched a whole run of fair weather clouds float by. In such conditions, one sense of smell is heightened. When scents are blended well, they naturally combine with the ambient context, leaving particularly powerful impressions. It seems something similar is true for mixology. As long as you choose a base of appropriate when mixed properly, all the ingredients work as one to create a most wonderful symphony for your taste buds. Yes, that's it. Now I think about it, layering... They're part of my reward from the flower shop owner. Important ingredients for making perfumes. Thanks to these, I was able to complete my commission for the cat's tail. I studied Mondstadt's Cecilia flowers many years ago. In fact, the fragrance of Cecilia... However, this is a special case. Some cats are quite averse to the scent of Cecilia, and we need to be particularly mindful of their preferences. Windwheel aster. The various parts of the windwheel aster plant can be ground into a powder to extract their essences. I then blended the scents from its petals and leaves. The result, I just took it for a little trial run at the cat's tail, and the cats seemed to really like it, while the clients themselves found it comforting, extracting exquisite fragrances from ordinary overlooked ingredients. Usually, after work, my friends from the Maison Gardiennage sometimes treat me to a few drinks. If it's before a holiday and my friends are in high spirits, I sometimes order a small glass of sparkling fruit wine. There was an officer named Terena who used to treat me to aged Corte wine. But since she was transferred to the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, we haven't had the chance. In the world of science, high-proof alcohol is a widely used solvent. Besides, when I'm slightly tipsy, my state of mind changes, which in turn alters my approach to perfume. So I don't mind drinks with just a little bit of alcohol, but I don't like anything too strong. just from our brief chat. Perhaps you possess a natural talent for this kind.
Here you go. A new and improved Emily-inspired Gloomy Dew's Twilight.
The colors are cooler and more refreshing, and the fragrance is delightfully subtle to match. Are these bright specks on the surface the crushed petals and leaves of windwheel asters? I'm sure it must taste wonderful. Let me try. In the language of flowers, your cocktail not only captures their form, but also therefore, I suggest you call this drink Windborne. The winds and clouds of Mondstadt swirl together in the glass, leaving behind enchanting traces of fragrance. Really? Oh, perhaps it's just a habit of my profession. Now it's time to slowly savor this masterpiece. Thank you so much. This trip to Mondstadt, this is the most memorable cocktail I've ever had. Once I get back to Fontaine, I will attempt to recreate this moment as both a fragrance and a perfume. Once I've perfected the recipes, I hope you'll do me the honor of being the first customer. Until then, I look forward.
So you're looking after the drink stand now. If I'd known sooner, I would have stopped by this morning. I've got to say, I'm getting curious. I've heard a lot. I wonder what kinds of drinks you can mix with the ingredients Glenfiddich has prepared. I don't have much of a choice. It's just one thing after another right now. First off, the Knights of Favonius annual combat assessment is coming up. As the captain of the reconnaissance company, I have to lead by example. So, I've been intensifying my training lately. Being Being a descendant of sinners means I have to work hard to maintain my position. Anyway, on top of all that, the General Affairs Company has invited a renowned champion duelist from the court of... Since I'm one of the captains with the highest attendance rate when it comes to these things, and I'm fairly skilled with a claymore, I have to prepare thoroughly to make sure I'm a serious match for the champion duelist. And then after the exchange, I need to write at least 6 different reports based on the results. Oh, I sure could. Anything that'll perk me up would be welcome. I'll leave the details to you.
One twinkling starlight for Captain Eula. Hope you like it.
Judging by your confident tone, I'm certain I will. Huh. Not bad. Sweet and tingly, with a delightful airiness. The fizzy water really brings it to life. I suddenly feel full of vim and vigor. But just one glass doesn't quite scratch the itch. How about something with a bit more... Don't hold back. You don't need to worry about putting me on the floor with nothing but a couple of drinks. Works for me. The first company hasn't assigned me any paperwork for tonight, so I'm free to catch up and try your new creations at my leisure. That's right. The merchant I got it from called it Romaritime flower fruit extract. It has a very unique smell. Here, have a... Oh, it's a necessary courtesy. In that book Miss Magistus lent me, the Blade Dancer, 20... After a duel, a Fontanian swordsman will politely invite their defeated to properly play host to Miss Clorand. I searched for quite some time to locate a rare goods merchant in Dorman Port who sold this juice. I had my... But Amber said something that makes a lot of sense. She said that even if this custom doesn't really exist... Besides, who doesn't like trying new things, right? I'll treat Miss Clorand to this juice at our post-training banquet. Yes, I have. For a while, the situation there was... difficult. A gang of outlaw engineers was messing about with some sort of... To make matters worse, several veteran knights who had been stationed at Dorman Port were transferred to my squad. And they weren't happy to be taking orders from... Leading them on this mission was quite eventful. It took 3 weeks of stealth operations in the snow, with no fires to keep us warm, before those veteran knights faced the bitter cold and were almost taken down by the enemy's smuggled battle mechs. Fortunately, the battle went our way, and they had me. I'm completely fine. But thank you for your concern. It was mentally tiring for sure. But fortunately, the operation wore them down far more than it did. If any new recruits try to make my life difficult, I'll just have my veterans give them a few friendly pointers. If you want to know what I've been eating recently, I'd better start by mentioning the logistics company's latest They launched a diet improvement initiative and started distributing a form of standardized canned food to knights. In the past, we only had dry rations. Every mealtime, we had to set up pots and campfires, roll dice to choose a cook, and take turns standing guard. In all honesty, it was a bit of a hassle. Now we just need to bring our standard field rations, comprising of 5 cans and 9 paper packages. We can heat the cans by the campfire, and then we're ready to eat. You did say, sounds like, right? Our canned food supplier has quite the... The problem is, in order to meet preservation standards, they have to make their military-grade meals way too The vice captain of the 5th company, who has a somewhat dry sense of humor, went so far as to say, "This food's bad enough to bring down the wrath of..." In any case, after eating it for a week, my taste buds have gone completely numb. You can hardly blame the logistics company. After all, it is hard to please everyone. Our feedback has already been submitted, and they should be... Of course, having fresh meals prepared in camp by a dedicated company chef... Oh my. To be honest, I'm eager to... Miss Cloran's combat style comes from the mysterious Marechaussee hunters. In the library, there are some old Fontanian newspapers from hundreds of years ago that give some idea of how formidable an organization it was. A more recent newspaper claimed that Miss Cloran was an orphan from an underwater kingdom, and that before battle she would perform rituals inviting spirits to possess her sword. Assuming these rumors are true, or that Miss Cloran's abilities might even be more extraordinary than that, it's important that I'm prepared for anything. Incorporating elements of swordsmanship into a drink, I sure could do with an energy boost, but how do... That definitely... That's right. You really know your stuff. I doubt there's anyone else in all of Tevat who could come up with such a perfect metaphor. There's no need to make it sound so fancy. It's just an aristocratic variant of Favonia. Firewater. In recent years, firewaters gained popularity the world over, following in the wake of prosperous Snezhnayan merchants. These days, almost every tavern has a signature drink that uses it as a base. You really are good. Why don't we try replacing... As for the alcohol content, that's not a problem. Plenty of the expedition team may have drunk themselves Brilliant! I'm looking forward to seeing how you do.
your all-new Seafoam Sword Song, mixed to meet your personal preferences.
Oh my, what beautiful colors! And you even added my romaritime flower fruit extract. The aroma is perfect, and I can smell the alcohol, but it doesn't stifle the fruity fragrance. Let's see how... Give me a moment to come up with the right words. I need to think carefully. I know it's unbecoming of a lady, and a proper connoisseur would savor their drinks slowly. But I'm sorry, this is just too... can you mix me another? Ah. Oh, no, what was I going to say? I've completely lost my train of thought. Whatever. I feel fantastic. This cocktail... Oh, it's the best I've ever had. I think I'm gonna head home and get some sleep. Don't worry about me. This is the happiest tipsy I've been in years. I'm still far from being drunk. By the time I've gone a few rounds with that, Miss Chlorinde, and completed my reports, I'll have been on duty for 3 months straight. Jean, the acting grandmaster. Isn't it about time she gave me some time off? I won't be forgetting this injustice in a hurry. You mark my words.
Suspicion confirmed. While patrolling the area, I was sure I'd sensed a familiar presence, so I came over to take a look. And sure enough, here you are. If Miss Charlotte were to see you like this, I'm guessing she'd take 100 pictures. Sword-wielding travelers, secret side hustle, exclusive cocktails from Tevat's Explorer Extraordinaire. You'd make the front pages of every major newspaper, and there'd be crowds of Fontanian tourists flocking to your drink stand, causing gridlock on the streets of Mondstadt. Luckily for you, I turned down Miss Charlotte's request to accompany. And on that note, I'd like that look on calm and effortless. I'm shocked to learn.
Your caramel blaze is ready. Try not to drink it all in one go.
It sure lives up to its name. The color reminds me of a raging fire, while that it's quite strong. I'm all right. I just need a little time to get used to it. As I recall, the last time I drank alcohol was at a wine tasting event that Navia invited me to last year. I only had a small sip of Sassica wine, and it was nowhere near as strong as. From a purely rational perspective, alcohol can cause dizziness and impair one's ability to work. But when Miss Farina saw me off at the docks, she mentioned that Mondstadt is the land of wine and poetry. Since I'm here, I thought I should at least try the local specialties. In fact, according to my intelligence, the captain of the reconnaissance company, who I'm preparing to spar, her publicly available battle reports are truly a sight to behold. Out of the utmost respect for her skills, I feel compelled to deepen my knowledge of Mondstadt's wines. I truly appreciate all the trouble you're going to. Huh? Does that mean she's already finished her commission? Well, she's certainly efficient. Once I return to Fontaine, perhaps I can let Sigewin know that I'd be happy to purchase her latest perfume. I'm not sure I'd say that. On my way to Mondstadt, we happened to take the same boat. Naturally, we got to chatting. I've often heard Sigewin praise her work. After conversing with her on the journey over, I must say, she is indeed a rare and refined individual. She's gentle and composed, yet keeps others at a distance. Perhaps it's due to her profession. I find this approach ideal. It allows one to maintain a lasting sense of inner peace. Oh, thank you, but there's really no need to set anything up. Our work rarely intersects, and best to just let things take their... I've seen a little. I took a stroll around the city. Navia's done some rather extensive research on this place. Many of the scenes and illustrations for the tabletop troupe were inspired by views. However, the way she describes the atmosphere in her world building is quite different from the real Mondstadt. Perhaps because I've mostly just visited the blacksmith and recently, the newer weapons and armor produced in Mondstadt have been created using a completely different heat treatment process. While this has slightly reduced their overall toughness, their impact resistance has greatly improved. These newer weapons give off a smell like overbrewed coffee. Perhaps it's because that scent gave me such a positive first impression. You see, Fontaine's signature metalwork is often coated with over time, the faint fragrance becomes overly sweet. And for some reason, it makes my teeth feel funny. I don't imagine the scent of Mondstadt's swords and shields would cause the same level of irritation. Of course, there is a solution to this problem. The next time you find yourself in Fontaine, there's another protective agent I can recommend. One that's as neutral as water. If you also dislike being bombarded with sweetness, this protective... When I'm working, I often drink coffee. But with meals, since I eat a lot of meat, the slight acidity of the juice helps balance out the greasiness. Over time, I've grown accustomed to the sour. After the swordsmanship exchange, the Knights of Favonius rather kindly treated. I had 8 different meat dishes, and all of them were excellent. The portions were huge, and of course, there was still room for improvement. When catering to tourists, the sticky honey roast and pile 'em up might benefit from a slightly lighter. I've certainly tried all the red meat dishes. I think I've had enough calories to sustain 3 days of vigorous work. To be honest, I can still taste the grease. There must be... Indeed it is. The knights codenamed Hazelnut 3 and Hazelnut 5 they told me the design has only just been finalized. Apparently it's only presented to important guests. They said they're making a badge for you too, but you're not wrong. I guess it's similar to, but I'm certain you'll get to know them in time. They're clearly seasoned veterans. Even after handling my affairs, they headed to the tavern for a gathering, saying they wanted to continue drinking barrels of beer the night before, yet being able to work with clear minds the next day. So what you're saying is, while Mondstadters may seem carefree, they actually have an admirable ability to... Are you already planning the details of Based on my previous experiences with alcohol, I guess my tolerance is similar to Emily's. Fruit liquor. So when the time comes, I think you'd be... All right, I'll make sure I'm mentally prepared. Even if it's still a bit strong, I'll do my best.
All right, this new creation is called Leisure Time Lightning. A cocktail made exclusively for champion duelists. Enjoy!
Have you added fruit wine? There's a subtle saltiness that combines well with the tartness of the fruit and the sweetness of the caramel. The color of the wine also fits well with the name, and the lightning imagery contrasts with the fiery nature of the caramel glaze. But where does the leisure time part come in? I see. That certainly matches the impression this cocktail gives me. Its unique aroma and taste will hold a special place in my memories of Mondstadt. Do you think, if the chance were to present itself, you'd drink somewhere else? A cafe, for instance, or the hotel, mostly for Navia and Miss Farina's sake. Though obviously I'd be more than happy to try more of your masterpieces myself. I understand, you. In any case, I truly appreciate your hospitality. Thanks to you, whether I'm facing the powerful captain of the reconnaissance company or discussing strategy with the Knights of Favonius,
Huh? Is that Miss Honorary Knight? Yippee! It's you! Auntie Eula told Klee that Hertha had found someone amazing to help out. Seeing you here, Miss Honorary Knight, Klee knows this must be the best drink stand in all of Teyvat. You mean this stand isn't already the best? Well, out of all the drink stands Klee's ever visited, Miss Honorary Knight's is easily the best. And no matter what drinks Miss Honorary Knight makes, Klee will definitely think they're yummy. Oh, you want me to be mean? But Klee couldn't... let me think. I know! I'll pretend to be Albedo! Whenever Albedo reviews Timaeus' work, his face goes super serious, and Klee can hear every word he says. Get ready for Klee's super amazing order. I'm going fish blasting with Mom soon. Don't tell Master Jean, though. So, Klee wants to order a fair weather frolic. Anything like a bright sunny day will...
Your fair weather frolic is here. Go on, give it a try.
Wow! So, a fair weather frolic is this color? Purple sky. Is it supposed to be a bright, shiny night? Clee will take a sip first. Then... Ah! Finished! Yummy! Both sweet and sour. If Clee drank this while eating grilled fish, I could definitely gobble down 2, or 3, or 4, or even 5! But one drink isn't enough. Clee wants to try a drink that tastes like cake. Clee doesn't know what drink... 3 square meals? Clee often eats 5. Adventuring takes a lot of energy, and if I eat too much at once, I can't run so well. So, Albedo used to prepare all Clee's meals, and my lunchbox was always arranged so neatly. Just when Albedo's busy at Dragonspine, Clee Kaya's camp is usually the neatest, while Amber sometimes camps in the trees. It's so much fun. When my mom comes back, there'll be even more yummy food to eat. There's this one dish where she takes loads of different fish and makes them into little pudding cubes. Her Chocogo Crunchy Slices are fantastic, too. It's her newest creation made with chocolate and cookies. They're a little bitter, but whenever I eat them, I feel so full of energy. When Clee gets back home, I'm gonna eat some. Clee used to eat cake after dinner, but Master Jean said it's too sugary and it's not good to eat. So Mom got some advice from Auntie Barbie, and now she gives me nuts instead. She says they help my brain. Nuts don't have much flavor. It's like chewing gum. Mom gave me an amazing book recently. She said I have to read 1 chapter every night. That book taught Clee how to make something called propellant. Now Jumpy Dumpty can go, Fwah! It's not hard at all. In fact, it's a lot like making bombs. You just bedtime's an important part of Clee's schedule, too. Mom sits by my side. She has a lamp made of gemstones, and when she turns it on, it goes kabling! And lights up this... Yeah! When something happens in the story, the lights on this... Sometimes Mom falls asleep before the story ends. So Clee has to... As soon as Clee learns how to use the lamp, I can come tell you stories, Miss... Clee has memorized so many... This stuff? Mom taught me how to a dash of sugar, then a lot more sugar, then some flowers from Mom's friend in Fontaine. Put everything together on the alchemy table, wish for the shape you want, then recite Mom's incantation, and poof! Dodoko sheep candy! Clee can give you some Dodoko candy too if you want. And that way, you could make your own candy whenever you want. If you get stuck, remember to come ask... yeah! Klee still wants to eat sweet things, like cake, for example. Oh, right! That friend of Mom's who's always wearing glasses gave her a big bag of Fontanian. Klee ate a whole bunch of those, and they were super sweet. But Master Jean said, so if Klee really has to eat nuts... Yeah, that was quick. Klee's looking forward to finding out how tasty your...
It's done! I just know you love this new creation.
Wow! There's Dodoko candy on top! There's so much orange in this cup, and Dodoko looks like he's lying on top of white fluffy clouds. The weather inside looks much better, too. Yummy! It's so delicious! Klee has to drink slowly. I can't just gulp it down, or I'll miss Honorary Night. This is amazing! It's like you... Klee was so tired from playing. Oh. You're the best, Miss Honorary Knight. Really? Let me... When the weather's nice, and Dodoko's happy, and when Dodoko sings, Klee wants to sing too. So, let's call it Dodoko's Duet. Thank you! And thanks for making such a yummy... Klee's gonna go tell Mom that the best drink in Mondstadt right now is Dodoko's Duet. Klee's gonna write down Mom's incantation. Then you should learn magic too. So, see you next time.
So Hertha's even roped our honorary knight into helping with this little venture. When we were discussing the drink stand earlier, I took one look at the menu and could barely contain my excitement. Now, it's finally time to sample the finished products. Can't wait to see your skills in action. Give me something that goes well with casual conversation, but still packs a punch. Of course they don't clash. A drink that packs a punch means you have to drink it slowly. And if you want to chat, then it has to go down smooth. So, something with a sweet aftertaste. The most suitable choice on this menu would be the Thorny Lake. It's a drink. It's not enough to know the recipe, though. The key is in the mixing. Some bartenders choose to stick to the tried and tested basics, while others like to add their own personal flair. That's the spirit! Now, show me what you've got.
Grandmaster, I hereby present you with this thorny lake for your enjoyment and assessment.
Well, the color and aroma are certainly on point. But as for the balance of flavors, I'll just have to taste it and find out. Not bad. You haven't overdone or skimped on any single ingredient. Though, unfortunately, it's a little too, polite. Perhaps I should have said modest. You followed the formula to a T, but if anything, you've played it a little too safe. Were you worried that deviating just a little might disappoint me? Hey, we fought side by side and dealt with things that even gods were loath to meddle with. Ours is a friendship forged in the That said, if you ask me, you can ditch the nerves and work your mixologist magic. I'm looking for something that shocks the senses. Mull it over, there's no rush. We can chat while you think. Who knows? You might just find some inspiration to mix in with your magic. Ha! I like your style. Speaking of this garden, it brings back memories of something that happened many years ago when I was young. I like to find ruined guards to test my fighting skills, both armed and unarmed. Once, I failed to take down a stray missile, and it ended as punishment. I had to run 50 laps around the city, repair the watchtower, and help rebuild the shattered walls in this garden. Indeed, among the misadventures of my youth, this is one of the most memorable ones. Mostly because that day, Crepus saw me. He took 2 bottles of 100-year-old wine and sent D-Luke, who looked even younger than Mika does today, to work out a clever way to get rid of Faru, who was guarding me. It was so hot that day, I could swear I was about to pass out. On a whim, I picked some mint leaves, put them in one of the wine bottles, and the result turned out to be surprising. After Crepus tried it too, he was full of praise. He even wrote up an official recipe for my spontaneous creation. His customers loved it. Several summers passed, and Crepus kept writing letters about giving me a share of the profits, as though I could possibly accept. Yes, good old Crepus. Faru retired years ago, but he still gives me a stern stare every time we... He's a stubborn one. D-Luke, who replaced him, and then Kaya, who took over later, both performed impeccably. Changing times will always belong to the youth. When I get the chance, I'll have Kaya show him the amazing progress the cavalry company has made. It's a treasured place that the Knights of Favonius have maintained for years. So it makes sense that it's become the go-to location for organizing such things. I heard that while the expedition was underway, you were a great help in giving those left behind the opportunity to put their energy to good use. Sometimes, I look through the photos I've been given from those events. Though unfortunately, there aren't enough. My conclusion is that Mondstadt needs to do more to popularize. Well, let me think. I guess you could say it lacks impact. Even when following the same recipe, the techniques used to mix sometimes, deliberately creating layers between spirits can bring out the different waves as each one. In this regard too, you've taken quite a tentative approach. Why not be a little bolder? Ha ha ha. You catch on quickly. No need. Pretty awesome, huh? It's like a hammerhead that you can fill with wine when you're not using it to pound. It was a gift. Hoffman came up with the idea, Charles supplied the design, Wagner helped cast it. And about 10 or so, they've been waiting to have a good drink with me. And this is my crucial weapon to aid me in a fair duel with them all. I'm the Grand Master, after all. I've been drinking a lot longer than them, so it's only fair to my subordinates that I drink a teensy bit more per round. Wouldn't you agree? Of course, some of them have been training as long as I have, and take Hazelnut 3 and Hazelnut 5 for example. Both were skilled warriors who helped me deal with Eric back in the day. At today's after-work cooldown, they insisted on trying to keep pace. In the end, they lost our game of darts and ended up passed out on the floor. I've already told Jean that I won't be approving their leave request for tomorrow, no matter what. If I were in charge of organizing events, well, I suppose everyone would revolve around For example, we could go all in on this drink stand and open it to the whole city, with every company of the Knights selecting one or more mixologists to compete against each other. It's only a thought. Can't let things get too out of hand. If I were to actually throw a grand banquet, Jean would come after me with her sword drawn. Even Frederica would launch a punitive expedition. While in Nodcry, we had a rule that knights must never get drunk while at their posts. Otherwise, it could lead to dereliction of duty with serious consequences. Exactly. As expedition members return to their companies, my hope is that this rule will gradually spread to everyone in Mondstadt too, just like firewater and Smedina. These Nodcry delicacies have made their way into Mondstadt's households and become part of people's daily lives. Young people need to learn restraint. At the end of the day, no one should be biting off more than they can chew. Unless it's someone near my level, they shouldn't even be thinking about enjoying a light buzz when they've still got work to do. You should come practice with me on weekends. Trust me, once I've drunk them under the table, they'll be swearing off wine for a whole... Huh? Oh, feel free. Whatever you're about to do, I've got a feeling I've...
Go, Grandmaster. A cocktail just for you. I guarantee you won't find this one too polite.
Such a spirited drink. How did you make this? Well, that burning scent of firewater. Oh, it's as if the very air were about to ignite. This is more like it. Perfection. It's clear that once you let go of your inhibitions, that first hint of mint is like a cooling feint that masks the fire. By the time the sweetness dissipates, the firewater is already slipped in behind your guard, ready to deliver a powerful strike of intense flavor. Oh, it's exactly the impact I was hoping for. That's the most ingenious part. Firewater's greatest flaw is a lack of aftertaste, but the Smetana perfectly maintains the flavor at the peak of its intensity. It's hard to imagine something this good was created by a mixologist who doesn't even drink firewater. I think it has the potential to become a firm favorite in Mondstadt and Nodcry. Iron Wolf. Oh, perfect. It's elegant, yet wild. Only you could come up with such a fitting... Oh, I have an idea. Why don't we name our Knights of Favonius' drink stand after you? No time to waste. I'll go have a word with Glenfidia right away.
Here's, you did a great job holding down the fort while she was out delivering drinks with Glenfidia.
Whatever the reason, the honorary knight is clearly one of the most talented, considering how short a time she's been doing this. I believe that someday she has the potential to give the legendary bartender...
I fully support your decision, Grandmaster. The honorary knight has really put in the drink stand will remain open for a little while longer to provide a proper welcome to our returning expedition members. Then, once we locate suitable premises...
Hooray! Everyone in the Knights of Favonius will get to drink...
Nothing short of what I'd expect from a true disciple of Hertha. You've...
Also, if I may, honorary knight, regarding the special cocktails you've developed, would you mind leaving the recipes with us? We'd like to add the...
Paimon feels like there's something you still want is based on your personality. You probably... That way, customers will know who inspired you to create these amazing drinks!
No problem at all. If you need, I can even have someone draft the paperwork on.
I hope when we recruit some new bartenders, they'll be able to learn from your, even if they can't quite match your work. If they could be 2/3 as good, that would still make them industry leader.
I see the value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
Eso fue muy divertido, pero me temo que hasta aquí ha llegado este video. Muchas gracias por verlo y si les gusta mi contenido pueden suscribirse y seguirme en mis redes sociales en donde subo más contenido de videojuegos e incluso cositas de dibujo. Tengan un bonito día. Bye bye.
¿No quieres ponerle like a mi vídeo?